Hi, I'm Bob with Purdue's Manufacturing Extension Partnership. The topic for this module is developing a project requirements document. For each type of digital manufacturing technology, there are different systems and solution options from which to choose. So, how do you determine which option is best for your company? A good starting point is to develop a project requirements document. This document could be a means to narrow the field of options to the few that meet your company's specific requirements. A project requirements document consists of several sections, including the project objectives that define your main goals for deploying the technology. For the cobot deployment project, the project goals were increased capacity by being able to operate the CNC mills for 2 extra shifts, faster cycle times by automating the loading and unloading process, and lower costs by being able to redeploy machine operators to other high-priority activities. Another section of the document is the project scope, where all tasks, activities, and deliverables within the scope of the project are listed, as well as any areas that are specifically out of scope. For the cobot deployment project, the scope was limited to CNC machines that were capacity constrained and dedicated to the production of a specific part. This minimized the downtime needed for changeovers and simplified the programming for the cobot. The next section is the performance requirements, like speed, accuracy, repeatability, and cycle time. For the cobot, accuracy and repeatability of the cobot were critical factors, as the tolerances for inserting stock into the chucks was tight, and a misalignment could cause the cobot to trip offline and stop production on the CNC machines. Safety requirements is another important section, and includes adherence to safety standards or being safe to operate while employees are nearby, which was a key consideration for the cobot project. The cobot system had to be designed to reduce the risk of injury to personnel. There may be user interface requirements. How intuitive do the controls need to be? What functionality needs to be readily available, like manual overrides or customizable displays? For the cobot project, the controls needed to be easy for operators to use, have an emergency stop button, and the robot arm needed to be able to be manually moved for access to the interior of the CNC mill for tool changes and maintenance. For some technologies, you may need to include cybersecurity requirements. Does the solution need to keep data access localized? Or can data be transmitted to a cloud platform? There are also environmental considerations. Will the technology need to operate in extreme temperatures or in a wet or dusty environment? The project requirements document should also include the deployment timeline. Do you have a specific deadline for having the technology fully deployed? Are there critical milestones that need to be reached by a certain date? The timeline could affect technology or vendor selection, as some options may take longer to implement than others. Lastly, determine requirements for the project budget and resources. The choices in technology can often be narrowed by looking at the overall costs and finding options that fit your budget. You'll also want to consider what internal and external resources may be needed during the project. Once you've documented the requirements for your project, you'll be ready to evaluate and screen the available technology solutions to find the ones that will work best for your specific needs. We'll discuss evaluating different technology options in our next module.